Hello and welcome back to How Was That, the cricket show, where cricket isn't just a game, it's an emotion. I'm your host Harish, and today's episode is a special one. A curtain has fallen on one of the most passionate, intense, and awe inspiring journeys in the history of Indian Test cricket. Yes, we are talking about Virat Kohli, the man who wore his art on his sleeve and led from the front and redefined what it meant to be a modern day Test cricketer. Joining me today is someone who breathes cricket, my dear friend and fellow cricket enthusiast, Mr. Naresh. Together, we're going to rewind the clock on Kohli's glorious 14-year-long Test career, from his fiery debut in Kingston to his golden years between 2016 and 2019, from double hundreds to heartbreaks, and finally his emotional sign-off. We will be discussing if Kohli was the greatest of his era, what is the legacy that he's going to leave behind in Whites? And what does his departure mean for the future of Indian Test cricket? So sit back, tune in, and join us as we pay tribute to King Kohli, the architect of a fearless India. With me, I have Mr. Naresh, as I had told you earlier. Welcome, sir. Welcome to the show. What are your thoughts on the great man's retirement from Test cricket?
No, Harish, sir. I'm very happy to be part of Housework, the podcast show. I was a little bit tacky about Virat Kohli's retirement, but it's not sudden. The speculation about his retirement was there for almost a week. Even a couple of days before, Virat Kohli had shown his desire to retire from the Test match cricket, BCCI, but BCCI had replied to him to consider about it. Okay, so it's not something a surprise to the Indian audience and the international cricket lovers, but Virat Kohli's sudden demise from Test cricket is not good for future Indian cricket team because Indian team, as we are all aware of, is in its transition phase. So we need a veteran like Virat Kohli be part of this transition period. He should have thought about it. At least another cycle of WTC meant a lot for Indian cricket and its future. But it is his personal choice to retire from this format. I hope he would continue to give his 100% in the one day international format and the domestic tournaments like Indian Premier League.
Yes, sir. Yes, Naresh, sir. I beg to differ a little bit from what you said. You called the future of Indian cricket not so great after the departure of Virat Kohli. I have a slightly different views from what you said. In fact, I firmly believe that no one or no individual is bigger than the game. The game of cricket has seen a lot of great stalwarts, especially Indian cricket, like Sunil Gavaskar, Sachin Tendulkar, Virat Kohli. So when one generation comes to an end, the other generation must be ready to take off. And I firmly believe that Indian cricket is in great spirits. Okay, that's the one point I want to differ from what you said. But let's keep the introductory part aside and move into more serious business where we are going to dissect how Kohli had made a great impact to Indian cricket. Okay, so first and foremost, when I say Kohli, the first thing that comes to our mind is obviously the gargantuan numbers that he had stacked up against his name. Such a great player in Test cricket. In fact, if we go back in time, many
Mm,
pundits at the beginning of his career doubted
mm,
his ability to be a Test player. But
mm.
now, when he's retiring, he scored more than 9,000 runs. He's become India's most successful captain. Naresh, sir, do you think he has answered all his critics in the best possible manner one can possibly do?
See, I think it is not necessary for a star like Virat Kohli to answer all the criticisms and controversies surrounding him. Because when it comes to public life, definitely when someone does something, there would be controversies. And when the person is in its,
Wait. Naresh, sir, I'm not
yeah,
talking about controversies and other things here. Initially,
yeah.
people did not believe he was cut out for Test cricket. But through his exploits, he
That's
shut
what
all
I'm
the mouths.
clarifying. That's what I'm clarifying. Because Virat Kohli is a special talent. Okay, he had proven himself way back in 2014 itself. Okay, by scoring more than 600 runs in a single Test match series against Australia. The two, it ended up in a losing cause, but anyway, he stood different from other cricketing legends at that time, like MS Dhoni was there, Murli Vijay was there, but he stood special in that. I mean, in the beginning of his career itself, he had shut all the mouths, okay, who had doubted his talents.
That's a huge statement. Very, very well said, Naresa. And I would like to recollect what Greg Chappell had told in his tribute to Virat's retirement. He says that Kohli was perhaps more culturally influential than even Sachin Tendulkar. How would you see this
That
statement
is
from
that is
Greg
something
Chappell?
personal, I guess, because Greg Chappell had a very different role with country Indian team when he was coaching Indian team in the 2000s. Okay, we know that his relationship with the top players like Sachin Tendulkar and Ganguly was not good. Might be the reason he's cornering Sachin and he's affecting Virat's legacy. Who knows? That might be personal statement also of Greg Chappell.
Okay, so how I see that statement basically is he means to say that Kohli has basically influenced Indian youth to take up the sport more than Sachin did. In fact, many people basically equate the growth of India in the 90s to the growth of Sachin Tendulkar. Sachin Tendulkar grew, proved to the world that Indians could stand up and match their might on the cricket field. That gave a great amount of confidence to the average public who were also
Okay.
able to develop. So, in the same breath, if you look at Kohli, how would you equate it? I probably feel that Kohli has done his bad bit. He's been a great motivator with his exploits on the field to millions of youth. So that is how I wish to see this particular statement of Great Chap. Okay. So with
Definitely,
that,
I too agree with you.
yes, yes, that's good. And now the second point I would like to talk about Virat Kohli here is how he led from the front. Okay, Indians basically were considered to be tigers on home soil and lambs while touring abroad. So
Okay.
it was first Saurav Ganguly who brought about a change in this attitude. Followed by that, MS
Yes.
Dhoni was able to win a few test matches away from home. But Kohli,
Yes.
he
Uh,
transformed this Indian team from underdogs overseas to becoming relentless
yes.
competitors. In fact,
Yes. Yes.
uh, he had actually pumped out the psychological inferiority of the Indian team when they were traveling abroad.
Mm.
If you remember, Kohli,
Yes.
when he was the
Mm.
captain, he used to make this statement. He used to
Yes.
say that we treat all conditions as our home condition.
Yes.
Okay, so
But
when Kohli became
we also need to register here the team that MS Dhoni had groomed. Okay, that's something which Virat Kohli made advantage of. Okay, that's something which we need to understand. Okay, the conditions where MS Dhoni led Indian team was completely different. Okay, because as we know, that's a transition phase. MS Dhoni led Indian teams between 2008 and 2015. That period saw the growth of interest of new players. There was no stability in the Indian cricket team. Okay, but when Virat Kohli took over the captaincy, there was stability. Okay, almost all the players they reached maturity level. Okay, when Virat took over the system from MS Dhoni in 2014 during BGT, okay, almost all the players like it might be the Shan Sharma, it might be the any Bhavan or Rahane or Pujara, they were in mature state, experienced level, mature state. Okay. So for him, God was there with him. Okay, fortune. Okay, as we know, fortune was there with him, and obviously he was also an aggressive captain. Then Saroji or MS Dhoni. Okay, he is very aggressive personality, and he set a standard. Okay, like for example, in the 90s and 2000s, Indian cricket team had players with top billing, okay, and bulky players. But when Virat took over the captaincy, he believed in fitness. Okay, fitness and
Mhm.
high standards and stylish players. Okay, so during this
Yeah,
captaincy,
we'll
during
come to
this
that. We'll
era,
come to that
okay,
aspect,
yeah,
Naresh sir. We'll come to that aspect.
yeah,
So
no,
what I would
yes,
like to conclude this particular point of mine is he played with aggression, and his aggression was
yes,
infectious. It caught on with the team
yes,
as well. They hunted as a pack even in
yes,
overseas test matches. Okay, and he
yes.
infused a sense of
I
pride
would also, I would
among the
also
players.
register. Yeah, I would also like to register here that he, as a statistically, he has a record of winning 16 out of 36 test matches. Okay, he led abroad. That's something very, very high. no Indian captain had done it. Second most best is that of Saurav Ganguly. Do you know something? He had won only 11 test matches away, okay, from home. Okay, MS Dhoni is below 10 only. So he is something, Virat Kohli's consistency in abroad, as you said, is something very different. He is like Ricky Ponting and other aggressive captains. Ricky Ponting is also aggressive captain, okay, that we need to acknowledge. So like Ricky Ponting of Australia, in India, okay, in the test match format, we had Virat Kohli, who took Indian cricket team in abroad to the next level.
Exactly, sir.
Yes,
We
sir.
can actually feel the hunger when the
Yeah.
team led by Kohli was on the field, whether it was a dead
He
rubber
never
or a
satisfied.
final.
Okay.
Kohli's
He
intensity
never
never dropped.
satisfied.
Kohli's intensity never
Yeah.
dropped. Exactly, exactly.
Yes.
So his mindset
Ah.
basically rubbed on the team as well. Okay. So next
Yes.
up, I thought it would
Hmm.
be prudent to discuss about his redemption and some of his iconic test moments. Okay. So when I talk about
Yes.
iconic test moments, first
Hmm.
and foremost, I think
Yeah.
we'll have to definitely talk about England 2018. Okay, so when I say
Hmm.
England 2018, it was redemption from 2014's failures. Because in 2014, when he
Yes.
had toured England, he was greatly troubled by the moving ball. Five test matches,
Yes.
he averaged just
Ah.
26. His highest score was just
Ah.
38, and he had
Ah.
accumulated only 134 runs. And James Anderson
Okay.
made him his bunny. Okay, but come
Yes. Hmm.
2018, he amasses
Ah.
593 runs, and he was the top run getter among both teams by a mile.
Ah.
What a redemption it was!
Okay.
It's a story etched in heaven.
That is Virat Kohli.
What
See,
do you
when
make of that
we talk
series?
about Virat Kohli, that is Virat Kohli. He knows for comebacks. Okay, that too strong comebacks. When people tell, okay, Virat Kohli is done, okay, he will prove to them, not with any tweets like others, he will prove to them with his mouth. Okay, that is what Virat Kohli is known for. Okay, he is a run machine. Okay, like as we know, okay, the redemption example is because 2024 IPL. Okay, even the initial phase of IPL, his strike rate was not bad. Okay, it is something averaging between 120 and 130. Okay, there was a question from press reporter that you are striking balls in a very poor level. Then he answered to them very quietly. Okay, by the end of the tournament, his strike rate was somewhere around 160, and obviously he won the orange cap. Okay, last year. So that is history. That is Virat Kohli known for comebacks and redemptions.
Exactly. When I talk about England 2018, the
Yeah.
contest he had with James Anderson was such a treat to the
Yes.
eye. In fact, he had scored a couple of hundreds there, and he had shut all
Yes.
detractors. And his energy, his effort had actually egged on his team to do well. In fact, India lost the
Uh,
Test series,
yes.
but if
Yes.
you keep
Ah.
aside all the statistics, all the matches were
Hmm.
very keenly contested, and that was something
Definitely. See,
extremely sitting well on Kohli.
I also like to reiterate in the year 2018, I hope he won the ICC Test Cricketer of the Year, I guess.
That was in 2016. Okay, okay. That yeah, 2018.
Okay, because that is his
Okay,
year.
next up,
It-
next
yes. Yes, sir.
yeah, another important point. That year, 2018, that you're talking about, that was his
Hmm.
most productive year in international cricket, where he scored 1,322 runs. Okay, so that
Yes,
speaks
yes.
volumes
Yeah.
about the kind of zone he must have been in at that point of time. Okay,
Yes,
so
yes.
his next important performance was the 2018-19 series in Australia. Because you see,
Yes.
India were perennial underachievers whenever they went to Australia. Okay,
Hmm.
so
Yes.
till 1999, it was very difficult
Ah.
for India to win even one match on the tour to Australia. For the first time
Yes.
in
Ah.
2003-4, courtesy Rahul
Hmm.
Dravid's exploits and Lakshman's exploits, we were able to win the
Ah.
match in Adelaide and draw the series. And we all know
Ah.
about the 2008 series. And after that
Yes,
came the
that's a
2011,
fantastic
which was
one.
a huge drubbing and a
A
humiliation for
controversial,
India.
no, no, no. The 2008 series was full of controversies, right? Okay, one side we had that Simon's Steve Buckner's controversy. Okay, other side we had Simon's Harbhajan Singh controversy. Sachin Tendulkar had a dream run in the 2008 series where he scored a couple of hundreds. Okay, that's something very good series to remember.
Mhm. So
Yes,
come
sir.
2018-19 series,
Yes.
since there was no Warner and Smith because of the match fixing match sandpaper
Tampering,
egg
ball
ban,
tampering. Yeah,
people
yeah.
gave India
Mm.
the best chance. People
Yes.
gave India the best chance, and come what? India
Mm.
seized that opportunity with both hands, and Kohli became the first captain, Indian captain, to win a series down under. We remember that series largely for Cheteshwar Pujara, but beyond
Mm.
Pujara, in the first Test match at Perth, Kohli scores 100 there, and that sets the team
Yes.
on a roll throughout the series.
Yes.
What do you
Yes.
make of that
Yes.
series, 2018, 2019?
2018-2019 series in Australia, this Border Gavaskar Trophy is that of India. Okay, fortune favors brave. As we know, in 2014, when India got Australia, okay, we lost the series. Okay, Virat Kohli was victorious in this match. In 2018-19 BGT series, Virat Kohli, Cheteshwar Pujara, and all the other matured players, so-called matured players, they stood up and they delivered. Okay, they delivered their best to Indian cricketing, and Virat Kohli, the first Indian captain to win a series in Australia, that's something we celebrated. Okay, all the cricketing is were on India. So till that time, okay, Indian cricket team was viewed as the underrated players when it comes to abroad. Okay, they are celebrated in India. Okay, in home soil, we used to tell with spinners like Kumble, Harbhajan Singh, and later on Ashwin, Jadeja, Sir Patel. Indian cricket team used to bundle the opponents. But for the first time, okay, team like Australia was wrong in Australia. That's full credit goes to Virat Kohli and this aggressive captaincy. That definitely everyone as a cricketer, as a sportsman, need to acknowledge it. And they did.
Yes, exactly, Naresa. Like how Ganguly set the tone for the 2003-4 series with his sublime
Yeah.
144 at Brisbane at the Gabba.
Uh,
Same way,
uh,
Kohli's 123 at Perth in 2018
mm,
was an innings of fire,
yeah.
discipline, and artistry. In fact, he was
Yes.
facing a very, very rejuvenated Cummins Stark in Lyon, and the pitch
Yeah.
condition was pretty hostile. The crowd was also hostile, but Kohli
Ah,
batted like a warrior there, setting an example for his team. So that knock defined
yes.
who he was. He was skilled, aggressive, and
Mm,
disciplined. Yes. Now, moving
yes.
on to the next part, which is we're going to talk about his mental strength and his
Yes.
transformation. If you see,
Yes.
Kohli, even before, long before he made his international debut, in fact, he showed to the world that he was a warrior and had an
Yes.
iron mind. Are
Yes.
you able to come find out which incident I'm talking about? It is a match that he played right after his father's death in 2006. It was a Ranji Trophy
Yes.
match. Okay, so there
Okay.
was his
Yeah.
father died in 2006. In the
Mm,
morning, he's
okay.
grief stricken. He comes up, plays, scores a gritty 90, saves his Delhi
Oh,
team from defeat. That shows that Kohli was made of mental steel. Okay. And
yes.
moreover,
Mm,
when he started playing in the initial part of his career, he was
yeah.
moreover given an image of a spoiled brat. Okay, he was not
Okay.
disciplined, and people associated him with all the wrong reasons. So what
Yes.
he did was he reinvented himself after those initial failures. He
Mm,
maintained a strict diet and was
mm,
reaching a certain level with regard to his fitness. He changed his mindset. He cut
no.
down all the outer noises.
Mm,
Initially, he has written in many, he said in many interviews
mm,
that in the
no.
past, a lot of exterior noises would disturb him. But after that phase,
Mm,
he cut all those
mm,
external voices and he enhanced his mindset. Okay, that speaks
mm.
volumes about who he was. And with regard to
You know,
fitness, as you told earlier,
yeah.
he became an altogether different person.
Yes, definitely. I would also like to add one important point, which almost everyone, not only India, almost all the citizens in the world need to understand. Okay, the importance and the respect and the love which he gives to his family. Okay, see, he had reached a different level. Okay, he had reached the top level. Okay, in his career after this,
Mhm.
no one that to advise him. But still, okay, at this point, at this juncture, okay, he loves his family and he keeps his family first next to his profession. Okay, that is something which everyone needs to understand. Okay, when he married, okay, Bollywood star, okay, people criticized him. There were controversies, but still, okay, he gave respect He gave good support to his partner. Okay, particularly at the time of maternity. Okay,
Mhm.
he stood with her. Okay, even last year. Okay, when he gave birth, okay, to his second child. Okay, he was there.
He was
He
playing the role
even
of a good
cared about
family man as well.
definitely, which we as a man, okay, not only man, okay, everyone in this gender equality world, partner needs to respect the partner whenever the need is. Okay, definitely, Anushka Kohli will have so many supporters along with her. Okay, the support of partner is supreme. Okay, which Virat Kohli provided to her. Okay, even he's a good son. Okay, to his mother. Okay, even he's a good brother. Okay, even he's a good son to his father also. Okay, that's something we need to acknowledge. Okay, that is how his mental strength is.
Exactly.
Hmm, yes, sir.
Exactly. He's someone who embraced that aspect of visualization and mental preparation.
Hmm,
Okay, he
okay.
uh,
Hmm,
trained in
hmm,
imagination as much in real. He visualized a lot
yes.
of things. And moreover, everyone is
Okay.
passionate about what they do. But what separates the
Hmm,
good from the great is that
hmm.
intensity. And that is what
Ah,
Kohli basically showed to the world. In fact, Kohli didn't uh, wait for form to come back. He chased it
ah,
down, rebuilt himself.
yes.
Okay, that
Yes.
discipline inspired millions. Okay, in fact, if you
Ah,
remember, 2011
yeah.
12 Australia series
Ah,
was a big turning point in Kohli's career because after the first
obviously.
two tests, no one had performed well in the series, but people
Yes.
were asking for Kohli's head because he had not
Ah,
performed. But he made a comeback. The third and fourth test, he
yes.
makes a 50 at Perth. Then in the last test at
Ah,
Adelaide, he makes his first test century. Okay,
yes.
and
Yes. Yes.
Adelaide became one of his favorite hunting grounds. Okay, so that
Yes.
shows volumes about Kohli's mental strength and his fortitude. Okay, and now talking
Yes.
about
Yes.
the changes that he brought to Indian cricket with regard to
Yes.
fitness and
Ah,
fast
ah.
bowling. Okay, if you
Yes.
see, Kohli
Hmm.
made fast bowling India's strength. You had
Yes.
earlier made a point stating that India was known for its spinners. Okay,
Yes.
but it was
And
during the
even
time of Kohli that
yes, yes. And even bulky bowlers like Srikanth, I mean Srinath, Srishant. Okay, these people are there. Okay, but when Kohli came, people like Jasprit. Okay, and then like people like Mohammad Shami. Okay, the fastest and fittest. And
Siraj,
Kohli also proved Siraj. Kohli also made the point that Indian bowlers can also click 140s very easily. And now we are enjoying it only because of Kohli.
he
Yes, sir.
built a very aggressive pace pack which
Yeah.
hunts in pairs even today. Even today, the
Yes.
opposition teams are very wary of India's pace attack, and that's solely because of Kohli. And if you see,
Yes.
apart from
Obviously.
the fitness of the pacers and the other stuff, he was someone who was
Ah.
known for introducing the yo-yo test, a new benchmark in Indian fitness culture. What do you make of it?
Ah. See, yo-yo test is something a very good one. I love it. But the problem when it comes to yo-yo test is that okay, even controversies emerged. Like people like Yuvraj Singh, okay, who fought with cancer and who tried to come back okay to the Indian cricket team, failed to do that because but still he played cricket. Okay, and he's also playing cricket. But the criteria, okay, the 11 certain criteria with Yuvraj Singh, he failed to crack it, unfortunately. Yo-yo test backfired for few people, but still, yo-yo test is a good
But
idea.
still,
Okay,
he
like,
didn't back down from what he had believed would take the fitness levels to a different
yeah,
level altogether.
that's what,
Okay,
that's
that
what,
is the
that's
big thing
what.
about
See,
Kohli.
only because
Okay,
of yo-yo test, we got players like Dhawan, we got players like Virat himself, then we had Suresh Raina, okay, all the fittest players, Shubman Gill, okay, Nitish Kumar Reddy, these people are so fit. They can run that 100-meter mark within that 11 or 12 seconds. Okay, which definitely Ganguly would have not done that. Okay, I am very sure about it. What's your comment on it?
uh, Naresh, I don't think we can basically compare generations because the situations were
Yes,
different
yes, yes.
from what it was in Ganguly's time to what it was in Kohli's time. So let's not veer
Mm.
into comparisons here.
Yes,
So next
yes,
important
yes,
part
yes.
about Kohli was more than a cricketer, he was a
Mm.
great statesman. That's what I believe. Okay, he was not only a fierce
Definitely.
competitor. he was mature too.
Yeah.
Or I can put it this way,
Yes.
he
Ah.
matured like a good
Yes.
wine as he progressed in his career. Okay, remember how he
Yes.
defended
Yes.
Steve Smith during the 2019 World Cup because the crowd was booing him and he silenced the Indian crowd, asking them not to boo. So that was the hallmark of
Ah.
a true statesman. Okay, he was that was
Yes.
the hallmark of a true statesman. In fact, that was peak maturity. I see that as peak maturity from the boy who gave
Yes.
send-offs to the man who showed grace. He had really
Obviously.
grown into the great Virat Kohli that we know today. Okay, the growth defines it.
Hmm. Okay. Definitely Virat Kohli
That's
and his
wonderful, right?
gesture. Yes, Virat Kohli and his gesture towards the fellow cricketers. Even he treated Naveen Ulak, okay, the small boy. According to Virat Kohli, Naveen Ulak is a very small boy only, but he treated him with love and gesture. Okay, that's so sweet. Okay, when during the India-Afghanistan match, okay, even our Indian fans booed Naveen Ulak. Okay, but still, Virat Kohli, he gave shoulders to him. That's something very good. And even in the recent test, okay, he had shown a great love to Constaff also, Constaff also. Okay, so Virat Kohli usually enjoys playing cricket. Okay, he loves cricket and he enjoys playing cricket,
Mm-hmm,
and he
mm-hmm.
also treats fellow cricketers, not only the Indian, but also the opponent cricketers very swiftly. Okay, definitely all the like not like he is aggressive when it comes to he is an aggressor. When it comes to the friendship, okay, we know what a relationship Virat Kohli has with ABD. Okay, ABD Villiers is a gem of cricket. Okay, but still, he himself say, "I have a brother in India, and his name is Virat Kohli." Okay, that's how Virat Kohli created a benchmark. Okay, when it comes to cricket, love and friendship. Yes, sir.
Exactly. So that shows how much he was valued by his fellow cricketers. Okay, he was
Yes,
seen as a
yes.
very fierce competitor, and that's what people love, right? At the end of the day, they play this game for that
Ah,
competition. And when they have someone like
ah,
Virat Kohli on the other side of the spectrum, they'll be
ah.
very, very